I don't know how we're just now talking about this, but here we are. So what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Good here at the House of Masks, where we unbox and review cool stuff almost every single day, and the year is coming to an end. Almost 2024 already. How crazy is that? What a wild year it's been. So wild, in fact, that there is a massive score that I'm just now realizing that I never made a video about. That is how you know that we are living in wild times at the House of Masks, because the score that I'm about to show you is so insane that if this had even happened 2 years ago, it would have been on the internet the same day that I got it. Here we are, months and months later, and I'm just now getting around to making a video on this piece and telling the full story. So, without further ado, in today's video, I am going to be showing off and talking to you guys about my real We Are Not Your Kind / The End So Far Jay Weinberg mask that was finished by none other than the dark art legend himself, Mr. Paul Booth. Yes, you are hearing all of that absolutely correct. This is a real mold Jay Weinberg mask, cast up in silicone and tattooed by Paul Booth. What a wild world. Now this is full circle for a lot of reasons. Not only was Jay Weinberg my favorite member of Slipknot, unfortunately I have to say was now because he's not in the band anymore. What the fuck are they thinking? None of my business. And Paul Booth is my all-time favorite tattooer, and the weirdest thing about this is that this is like the second or third time that our paths have all crossed. Now, obviously, you guys know that I have quite the history with Jay himself. I mean, I think the first time we met was 2016 or something like that. But even just in 2023 alone, we did a lot of stuff together this year, starting with one of the first videos that was on my channel in 2023, Jay Weinberg running through his mask history here at the House of Masks, in this very room. From that, we started doing all of the PaleFest stuff together, and along with PaleFest came this project. Now, Paul Booth, on the other hand, not as much history, but still, he's been my all-time favorite tattooer since I knew anything about tattooing, and I actually made my way out to New Jersey. I made my way out to New Jersey. Damn it, man. I made my way out to New Jersey earlier this year, and I got pretty much an entire back piece done by Paul. Dreams do come true. So after that tattoo was done, and after Jay and myself had started working on things to get everything ready for his appearance at PaleFest, he mentioned that he had talked to Paul briefly, and that Paul was interested in doing something for PaleFest. So we set up a couple meetings, and unfortunately we came to the conclusion that Paul's schedule just wasn't going to work with PaleFest. However, he still wanted to be involved somehow, so with even more Zoom calls and meetings, we were all able to brainstorm something together, and that was this. And not just this, because this is one of 3. Yes, there are 3 of these, but all of them are completely individual. So the whole idea behind this came super naturally to all of us. It was just kind of discussed originally that Paul was going to be painting up one of Jay's masks and that it would live here in the House of Masks. But that idea actually evolved over the course of those meetings into doing a mask for Jay to keep, a mask for me to keep, and a mask to be auctioned off for charity, which was awesome. And the idea went from having masks painted up to having masks tattooed, because it's Paul fucking Booth. I mean, come on. So we had to figure out if we could even get these masks done up in silicone, which we were obviously able to, and then we sent them off to Paul and he just made it happen. He showed us the first mask and a half, and Jay and I were just extremely blown away. We were very stoked with the outcome, and we were actually arguing over who was going to get what mask, but again, it all came full circle and worked out extremely organically. Jay got the mask that he wanted, which is probably still my favorite out of the set. I got this one because, oddly enough, this one heavily resembled the mask that I was about to debut by Michelle Morgore, the Michelle Morgore V3. Paul had no idea. He had never seen that mask. Nobody had ever seen that mask. It was still in a box. But it was very reminiscent of this mask, with the brows, with this weird kind of triangular jester-style paint thing, and with the mouth itself. Has like that corpse paint feel. So it only made sense that I got this one, and then the one that we auctioned off was the most individual. That decision was made by Jay and myself, because not only did we want the masks that we got, but we also wanted ours to kind of resemble each other, and they do. do. Those two masks do look pretty similar, although they are their own individual thing. So as you can see from this side-by-side of mine and Jay's masks, they definitely have a very similar feel. Now, the finish itself is totally different, but the vibe of these masks is definitely very similar. You can see that the way that the looks were accomplished on both of these masks was by Paul going in and playing a lot with the textures, specifically the wrinkles. So there are a lot of wrinkles on our masks, and there are drips from the mouth, and the eye shapes are all very similar, and even the brows and the burrow on the forehead. That's all pretty similar, while also each mask has its own distinct image. Like, these are definitely two different masks. But as this was happening, Jay and I had already discussed the fact that we wanted these two masks for ourselves, not only because we liked them the most, but because it was kind of like a brotherly thing, and it just made sense that since we were friends and this was our project, that we would have the ones that kind of went together. And then the third option, which I will show you guys here soon, was totally its own thing, and that would be like the outsider mask. And not only was that cool for us to have something that was similar, but it was also cool for the person that was actually spending their money and paying a pretty penny for their mask to have their own individual one-of-a-kind thing that wouldn't go with anything else. It would just be fully the one-of-one out of this set. We just thought that that was a really neat thing, and it all worked out the way that it was supposed to. And then the mask that went out for auction was a completely individual mask that had almost nothing to do with the other two, and it was a super, super sick design as well. It was definitely full on skull, and it was just wild. So we threw this thing up for charity. Jay and I kept our two masks, and we just crossed our fingers and hoped for the best. We just hoped that we were going to be able to pay Paul for his time, and we ended up selling that mask for over $5,000, and I think like $3,600 of those dollars got sent off to the charity that we chose, which was just incredible. Blew Jay and Mai's mind. I don't know how Paul feels about it, but we were very, very stoked. Now, I had all three of these masks in my possession at one point, but I was just getting my ass kicked so much with PaleFest and trying to keep up with regular content that I didn't shoot a video of them while they were here. I'm an idiot.
I'm an idiot!
You're an idiot! You're an idiot!
However, they were all displayed at PaleFest, and I've got mine here, which I can show off in even greater detail. So yeah, I just wanted to make a real quick video about this mask and about the story behind it, because I think that it's a super, super cool thing and just another dream come true for the House of Masks, to be put on a poster with Jay Weinberg and Paul Booth, and to own a Paul Booth piece that is also a real Jay Weinberg piece worn by Jay Weinberg. It's just on another level. That's a score that I never even could have conjured up in my brain. So yeah, 2023, baby. Now, with all of that out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you guys with some nice up-close shots of this mask. That way you can see all of the beautiful, beautiful detail. This thing is truly one of a kind, and I couldn't be more stoked and honored and humbled to own it, and it looks fantastic over in my Jay Weinberg collection. So I'll show it off here in great detail, and I'll give you guys a little highlight of the Jay Weinberg section at the end of this table. And then after this, I think I'm good to go on a full Jay Weinberg collection video, as well as a full mask room update for the end of 2023. So look forward to those. Hopefully I can get them out before the new year, and I've also got some really cool videos coming for the new year and right after the new year. I've got a full list on my phone that I'm just stoked about. You can probably tell because I'm barely taking a breath and I'm talking at 100 miles an hour, but I'm just ready to fucking go. I am ready to kill the game. All right, enough blabbering. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. I truly do appreciate it, and I really hope that you enjoy the content. Until next time, this has been AJ Good here at the House of Masks, telling you to say no to drugs and alcohol, and yes to art fusion amongst your favorite artists. And we will see you guys in the next one.